Mm. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go ahead and get the disclaimers out the way that you guys do hear every so often. Give me 1 second, please. Actually, we're going to get the intro and the disclaimer out the way.
Welcome to another amazing studios session. Subscribe to the Postal Blue Podcast on all streaming platforms and check out Amazing Studios on YouTube for video content. Also follow the Postal Blue Podcast community on X, formerly known as Twitter. We appreciate all the support we're getting and thanks for listening.
And we do appreciate all
Welcome
that
to another
all that
Amazing
support.
Studios session.
I did just click that again on for purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I do got another one for y'all. Give me one moment.
These are the views and opinions based on our individual experiences and is for educational and informational purposes. Any advice given is personal and not professional nor instructions. Refer to your own union branch contract or representatives. All liability in respect to actions taken or not taken based on the contents of this media are hereby expressly disclaimed, and we hold no responsibility for those actions.
Again, that's also for management. You know what I mean? They will try your boy. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be having to throw that in there as a reminder every so often. You know what I'm saying? It's been about maybe 8 podcasts since the last disclaimer. But what's going on, everybody? Again, this is a September 15th. This is a reshoot. It's 11:58 p.m. I did this I don't know how many hours ago. Finally got the new audio interface in, hooked up the mics, did the whole show, and then it's static in the goddamn audio. So I will run through this, but I will not. It will not be. I think it was 54 minutes, and I'm solo today. It will not be 54 minutes. Okay, maybe 30. But again, how you guys doing this week? Again, I'm gonna stay up late. I'm gonna get this done, get this uploaded so you guys can get this Monday morning, because the numbers show that you guys are really enjoying the content weekly, and it's helping people get through their day. You know, on shout out Zencaster, do you know it shows me what's the highest peak times that people are listening to the shows, the time of days of the week, and things of that nature. So it seems that at between 9 to 12 is when we get majority of the listeners streaming. So clearly you guys enjoy listening to it on your Monday mornings, and I don't want to let you down. So I'm about to just stay up and get this taken care of, and I'm tired and I got to work tomorrow. So let's get this out the way. No disrespect intended, but I am tired, right? So, okay, this is, the title might seem a little bit off-putting or confusing, but this is No More Customer Service, right? And that title stems from the topic of today's today's show, right? And postal concerns of the speedy, move fast, be unsafe, take all the shortcuts you can. And that causes a lot of customer service issues, or lack of customer servicing, right? The lack of customers being serviced or serviced properly for your money, right? Anybody that use the postal service to send anything, mail, packages, you get passports, you buy tape, you buy any type of tracking, far as certifies, registers, express. If you send anything, you're a customer. If you receive anything, you're a customer, right? Because that means someone that's connected to you paid money, or again, you order something. So you're a customer. You're all customers, right? And you should be getting treated as such, not shortchanged, because the post office wants to. I'm trying to think of the best term I can use. They want to turn the post office to like a fast food spot. Right. I want to shout out no actual specific fast food places, which I had to catch myself because I was about to do that. But it wants to think there's fast food, and it never takes customer service, at least as of recent years. It doesn't take customer service into play when people are doing their job, right? Well, let's say it up into the stations, right? Because it even takes It takes it into account for clerks inside the stations that they have to do customer service, but for some reason that stops at the carriers. Like carriers don't have to do customer service, and if they got 5, 6, 700 houses or addresses on their routes, that they don't have to speak to those customers or service those customers or help them with changing addresses or with postal information. How about how much stamps are, or how much is a book of stamps, or you know, what's my closest post office, what's the hours. This happened, right, at one of our stations. The manager of the station was walking with a carrier while the carrier was delivering. A customer, meaning a resident, right? So when I'm saying customers, I'm not talking about the people that would walk into a building trying to purchase something. I'm talking about the residents, right? That you as a mail carrier are delivering on your route to houses. A resident, someone that lives at one of the houses, come to ask the mailman a question. The manager interrupted the resident and said, "Excuse me, but you can't talk to them." That's a customer. You're a manager of a station, and this man has a question for your business, and you gonna tell him that he can't talk business, which sounds crazy, right? Sounds crazy that you guys wouldn't imagine behind the scenes, right? So just to reflect on customer service, right? I went on Chrome browser. Now, you could go on any browser that you want to use, of course. I went on Chrome browser and I looked up all the post offices in my district. We have 20 post offices in my district, right? I'm going to read you the rating that they have. This is important because the post office, how can I say? The post office brags behind the scenes that they are the best rated, right, and highest reviewed federal/government organization, right? They brag about how they're the nation holds them in higher regard than any other federal organization, comparing them to the FBI, the CIA, the IRS, VA, even higher than the military. They like to say how they're higher reviewed and high viewed than the military and other organizations, such as even the VA hospital. You know what I'm saying? Any, right? Cool. They brag about this. Now you wouldn't know this, but they do, right? And it's not of me just throwing stuff out there. I've been in these conversations, right? And sorry, I don't have any video because my camera set up different from the other shot, and I don't want to take it down and move it again. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm just trying to get this out the way. So there is no video today. I apologize. I get it situated. Okay. So we're gonna go get right into the meat and potatoes, right? We have 20 stations. I'm gonna read them in alphabetical order, and I'm gonna read what their rating is. We have Bayview, right? And I'm also, if I can think off the top, I will, just for the people that's actually in the district, I'll read out what zip code that station services. Now, if you don't know, most stations, if not all stations, have a code name attached to them. Sometimes they're named after people, or they're named after the street, or something in form of the area that post office is located in. Maybe side of town, different things like that. Right. So when I'm naming these names, these are stations. If I can remember the zip code of the stations, I'll read out the zip code. That way you'll know what station is yours. Just for people in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now this is for everyone, but this can hit close to home if you work in the Milwaukee district. Right. Bayview Station has a rating of 2.9 out of 5 stars. Again, this is out of 5 stars. 2.9 out of 5 stars for Bayview. I don't know what the zip code is for Bayview right now. And again, it's late, so I might be drawing a blank on something. Bradley Station, Bradley, has a 1.4 out of 5 stars. Bradley services the 53223 and the 53224 zip codes. Dr. King Station has a 3.0 stars out of 5. 3.0 out of 5. Dr. King services 53212. Fred John Station has a 2.0. That's a 2 stars out of 5 stars for Fred John. And this service is 53222 and 53224. Greenfield Station has a 2.1 out of 5 stars. Can't remember Greenfields. Hampton Station has a 1.4 out of 5 stars. Hampton Station services 53218. Hilltop Station has a 3.4 out of 5. Hilltop does 53205 and 53233, if I'm not mistaken. 205 and 233. Juneau Station, 2.6 stars out of 5. Services 53202. Mid City, 3.3 out of 5 stars. Services 53208. North Milwaukee, 2.2 out of 5 stars. Services 53209. North Shore North Shore has a 3.7 out of 5 and services 53217, if I'm not mistaken. Parkline has a 3.0 out of 5. Services 53216. Root River has a 2.8. Don't remember the zips. Sherwood has a 3.1 out of 5 stars. Services 53211, if I'm not mistaken. Titonia Station, 2.5 out of 5. Services 53206. Tuckaway, 2.6 out of 5. Don't remember the zip codes. Tosa, which is short for Wauwatosa, we call it Tosa, 2.5 out of 5 stars. Don't remember the zip codes. West Alice, 2.7. And I don't remember the zip code because, again, I just added the zip code thing. You know what I'm saying? Going through it right now from the beginning. I didn't have a plan to say the zip codes or just throw that in there. You know what I'm saying? That was last minute, so I definitely wasn't prepared for that. But I do know majority of the zip codes. West Alice, 2.7 out of 5 stars. Don't remember the zip codes. West Milwaukee, 2.3 out of 5. Now that station has 3 zip codes in it. Now, if you heard me earlier, I've said 2 or 3 other stations that has 2 zip codes in them. This one has 3. This is a consolidated station. It has 3 zip codes. 2.3 stars out of 5. West Milwaukee services 53219. And the other 2, I believe, is 53214 and 53204. I could be mistaken on the other 2, but I think that's what they are. And last but not least is Western Station, my original home station, where I got training. Where I trained as a CCA and stayed as a CCA for 2 years. Western Station has a 2.4 out of 5 stars, and they service the 53210 zip code. Now, headquarters doesn't have a station in it. It doesn't service the actual zip code that I know of. But maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Because it does have a zip code attached to it, but I don't recall servicing that zip code, so I don't know what that is. Maybe it does though, and we just never talk about it on any of the telecoms, or I never heard about it on any of the telecoms. But technically, they have 53201 zip code. They have a rating of 3, and I didn't count them out to 20. They're going to be 00, right? They have a 3. That's headquarters. They have a 3 out of 5. So going over the list, our highest rated station in our district is, drum roll, North Shore with a 3.7 out of 5 stars. Next was Hilltop with a 3.4, Mid City with a 3.3, Sherwood with a 3.1. Oh, I missed Hilltop with a 3.4. Sherwood with a 3.1. And then we had 2, which was Dr. King and Parkline with a 3.0. That's about 6 stations that has a rating of between 3 and 4. And the rest of them is under 2. We don't even have not one 4-star station, let alone a 5-star or a 4.5. Right? That's sad for a company of our size who likes to brag about their customer service and how they look and their rating compared to the other federal organizations with ratings like this, with reviews like this. You guys can go online, look up the reviews, read what the reviews are saying. This is my issue. Well, I got multiple issues. I might have to talk to a shrink or something like that. But I've heard, not just me being on the desk, even off the desk, of various telecoms. If you don't know what a telecom is, this is where one representative from all the stations get on the call together. So it's at least one person from every station, along with multiple people from headquarters being on the same call together, right? I've heard them on a multitude of different types of telecoms, talking about a multitude of things. And I've never, not once, never, not once in my 5.5 years of being at the post office has ever heard them on a telecom speaking about how bad their ratings are to the public and how they can fix them. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I've heard telecoms on get them out the office earlier, try to get them to move faster, try to get them to do more work in whatever amount of time, shortchange this, shortchange that. Hey, take all these shortcuts, take this away from them. Hey, write them up for this, write them up for that, threaten their job on this, threaten their job on that, put them on EP for this, write them up for this, on a multitude of things, and never in all of this time has ever heard them have a conference call or a meeting between the stations about these scores or about scores like this. I only can come to the conclusion of they don't care. The reviews say that they don't care. Read the reviews. Read the reviews now. Take heed. For those of you who's listening to this show on this episode in particular, for one, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Right? Amazing Studios. Check us out on YouTube. Right? We do have you go to the Amazing Studios, that is spelled AMAZAN, Amazing Studios on YouTube, and you can see all of our podcasts on YouTube in one sitting. You know what I'm saying? Right now there's four, it's really five, but we haven't did one on the fifth one in a while because we changed some things, and then there's also a sixth one coming out for you guys, right? So I do have a lot of work in front of me. With that, again, yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad. But again, I digress. For those of you who listening to this episode, if you have not rated your stations, right? Because I didn't see a ton of reviews on each one of these. I've seen enough, right? 80s, 100 something. If you have not rated your station, how about you take the time to go online and rate your station and for whatever zip code that you're in, right? Maybe that'll help bring it up because you might have had a excuse me, I am get tired, a great experience, and maybe you just didn't rate it. Maybe that'll help them bring these ratings up. But let's say all of you who's had bad experiences, maybe you need to go on there as well and give an honest opinion of your rating, right? And then maybe we revisit this in a month or two, right? And see what the new scores are. Maybe they go up, maybe they go down. Who knows? But I definitely think there's a lot of you out there with opinions on how the post office is going that hasn't voiced those opinions. It's what the Postal Blue Podcast is for, and best believe that they don't like it. They don't like it, but guess what? Nobody else is doing anything. So what are we supposed to do? Just accept it? The job ain't what the job is anymore. Everybody's running from the job. Even management is running from their jobs. We won't get into that right now, but we will. Trust me. Right? Um, it's bad, man. It's bad. And the company side management is not going to do anything. I'm not even sure who's supposed to keep them in check on certain things. Right? Whoever's supposed to keep them in check clearly is not doing their job because a lot of things just wouldn't be happening. Right? So, and the union in my personal opinion, it's not doing anything as well. They're not gonna like me for saying that. But again, I sit in the middle on what the contract's supposed to be for better or for worse. And it's like the other two are just sitting on the sidelines on whatever their side is. And that's not helping the company. Y'all supposed to come together to make it a better company and make it good for the employees and the customers. And they're not doing that. They don't even get along. They're just standing across the room throwing stuff at each other. This is how the post office is operating, which then should show you um, what's going on, what's wrong. The two sides ain't working. They're not working together. It takes two. Right. Your opinions are welcomed and needed. Right. So if you can, whenever you get a chance to, go ahead and hit those reviews on whatever search app that you use. Also, what the post office looks for, and give your honest opinions, is when you do go into a post office and get a receipt for something, they should come with a survey at the bottom of the receipt. Now I know a lot of places do these type of things, and I know a lot of people don't do them. But this is the only way we're going to get this change, right? Because we are the customers and people are ignoring us but taking our money. And then we're in a monopoly phase where the post office is the only place that can deliver mail. So you have to use them for mail purposes, right? So it's crazy. So we definitely got to get that change. So when you go to the post office, excuse me, if you do get a receipt for purchasing something, there should be a survey at the bottom of that receipt. Take that survey. Take that survey. Let them know where they right at. If they're right in something, also let them know where they wrong at. Right? I don't know if it matters. I don't know if it actually goes to them and they just throwing whatever surveys under the bus, right? Or if it goes to somebody outside of them or that controls them. I don't know. I don't work in that department. You know what I'm saying? I don't work in headquarters. But again, this is very telling. Our highest rated station is a 3.7 out of 5 stars. And we have two stations that has 1.4s out of 5 stars. 1.4 out of 5. Right? Um It's a sad day, man. It's a sad day again. They don't want to do customer service. It's my personal opinion. Looks like, you know what I'm saying, based on my, and also based on my experiences, my opinion, along with my experiences from things that I've seen, things that I've heard, they don't talk about customer service. They don't talk about carriers helping you with your change of addresses on the street. They don't talk about carriers helping you um with issuing stamps, money orders, or giving you knowledge on the street, right? A lot of people is doing they change addresses late or after they move. They're supposed to do it before, right? But a lot of carriers might be moving so fast that you've never even seen your carrier before. A lot of people don't even know who their regular carrier is if they have one, right? So we're losing customer service because the post office don't want to pay carriers pretty much to do customer service. They just want you to deliver mail, 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 mail. Don't take breaks. Don't take comfort stops. They don't care if it's 120 degrees outside and you're hot and sweating and can't breathe. They don't. That's what it comes off as. My personal opinion. That's what it comes off as. Not that they've said this, but I've heard upper management, meaning people higher than the managers of the stations, right? Say something to the effect, I can't remember verbatim, say something to the effect that, well, they know what the job is, rain, sleet, or snow. He was saying that in regards to someone saying, what if they say it's hot outside? Or that it's raining outside, or that it's too cold. He said, well, they said rain, sleet, or snow. They know what they signed up for. Now, rain, sleet, or snow just means I show up to work that day and I'm gonna do my best to get the job done that day. That don't mean that I'm not gonna have to take breaks or comfort stops if it's below zero outside. Y'all don't close down the post office when it's below zero outside and it's that dangerous. You don't close down the post office. So I still got to show up at work. But yeah, I might get so cold that I might have to sit in the car for a little bit to try to warm up. But that's a problem for some people in the post office, in the higher ups. That's a problem. Or that it's so hot outside, I can't walk around with no portable AC. So it's so hot outside that I might have to sit in the AC for a couple minutes to try to cool myself off because I can't stop sweating. And I feel like I'm just getting overheated to the point where I might be getting dizzy or pass out. But according to him, I should still be moving because I signed up for it. Also, I've also heard him say that we robots and we supposed to be moving like robots. So we shouldn't be affected by anything or get affected by anything along with weather conditions. We're robots. That's what he says, right? This is one of the people who names I'm not going to say currently, but we working our way up to that because we going to get all their names. We going to get all the names coming up, right? A lot of stuff is public information. We got people working behind the scenes to find that public information, easily accessible ways through your phone, through browsing through your phone. As soon as we figure it out, get a sit down and then just go through the browser to figure out who these people is. Then we'll give you the knowledge because that's public information. You can open your phone, go to your browser, go to your postal website, or type this in, get to your postal website. Then you go through this area. This shows you so and so, so and so. Then you get to this area. This is show you so and so. Click on this. Then this is how you find out who's above your manager and you can contact them, and who's above that person and you can contact them. You might not be able to call them, but you can definitely send some mean letters if that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do. And make sure you send them letters certified. That's for two purposes. Not only does it support the post office, not only does it support the post office, you know what I mean, send it certified, but you also get a receipt. Eventually, you know what I'm saying, you'll be able to look up that tracker number and know that letter was delivered to them. So then you would know if you're not heard or your voice not heard or you don't see any type of change, that your voice fell on deaf ears, and then again, we know where the problem lies. We know where the problem lies. There's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing out here. I stand where I stand at, and I stand where I stand at no matter who I talk to, no matter what side I stand on. You're both wrong. You're both wrong. Right? Customer service is needed in the postal service. It's called postal service, for Christ's sakes. And we trying to remove the service out of it. That's crazy. Rate your post offices, good or bad. We'll check back in a month to see if these numbers up, man. And again, we got to do something about this, right? Again, this just shows that the intent, in my personal opinion, the intent there is to cut out customer service. Now, right now, they can't help but to service you when you come into offices, right? They can't help but to service you then. But that's the only place they really trying to service you at, right? They trying to disconnect the customers from their mail carriers. Mail carriers are the forefront. They're the shield for the post office. A lot of people know their post office as being whoever their mailman is. That's the face of the post office to them. Everyone on that route, that's their face of the post office. And the higher ups is using you as their shield. So when there's dirt on their name, your customers see you because you're the only face they know. I hope that makes sense to you guys as carriers out there. Right? Same thing when their package is lost in distribution, processing, or transportation along the way, the customer look at you like you lost it because they don't understand or know processing and distribution. You get a package that's broken, cut up, whatever the case is, they automatically assume they carrier did it because they don't know processing and distribution along with transportation, or they know how the system works. Again, we also have a podcast on that, how mail really travels. Y'all make sure to go check that out, and we break down how mail really travels for you customers who don't know before it gets to your delivery unit. Your local post office is just a delivery unit. They deliver whatever is brung to them in the morning every morning. They don't process mail. They don't sort mail in there. They don't distribute mail in there. None of that. That happens downtown, and then it comes to them in the morning, like 6:30, 7, depending on the station. And then that's the mail that's already pre-sorted. The clerks in there just got to separate the packages by the routes, and then the carrier gets that and go. They don't go through the mail. They don't pull out mail. They don't know what mail is in there. They don't know none of that. They just pull out and go. Pause if necessary. So by the time I get to your address, if you say, "Hey man, I was supposed to get this piece of mail, I had informed delivery," I wouldn't know what mail you had in informed delivery. I don't even know what mail I got for you until I get to your address, and then okay, cool. And I don't even look at that mail to see what type of mail that is. I don't know if that's a check, if it's a refund check, if it's from the IRS or Social Security. I don't know none of that. My job is to look at the address, see if it match your address, put it in the mailbox. Maybe it's behind, maybe still in distribution, maybe it got missorted, maybe it went on the wrong truck, maybe it went on whatever the case it is. But this is where the carrier still takes the blame for the mismanaging that goes on behind the scene. And the people don't know the people behind the scenes. They just know us as the carriers. And we get the blame and they don't pay for that. The post office don't give us higher pay because y'all gonna take the brunt of the negativity. We gonna pay y'all more. They if they could, they attempt to try to pay us less. But we the fall guys in the post office. That's gonna change. That's gonna change. Between now and 2025, we gonna know who the culprits are. We gonna know. You gonna know. And you gonna know how to find them. Going through public search engines. Right? Again, customer service is needed. Fight for your carriers to perform customer service, right? Anytime your city has some type of postal rally, customers can show up as well. It don't have to just be employees. If your station, you hear about a rally or some type of well, we would just call them rally instead of strikes because you can't strike. If you hear about some type of postal rally, most likely there's a branch or a craft that's fighting for something. You guys can show up. Customers can show up and go support. Hold on, we'll hit that clap button. Go ahead and go support your local post office. Go support your carriers. Go support your local clerks that help you when you need something sent off. And you go in there and there's some beautiful young ladies and ain't into the men, so I can't say nothing about that. But some beautiful young ladies at the counters that can help you with whatever it is that you need, right? And they got a smile on their face, and sometimes they don't be having the best days. You know what I'm saying? But y'all interaction cheers them up a little bit. Go fight for them as well. Fight for the people you can't see. Fight for your clerks and your mail handlers and your truck drivers that's a part of distribution. Fight for them as well. You know what I'm saying? They got hard. I'm not gonna say they got the easiest job either. I haven't worked down there in distributions, in any of the distribution centers. We call them annexes or the plants. I haven't worked there, but I can imagine. I can imagine, right? With my 5.5 years, my short 5.5 years in the postal service. Customers, you can show up to the rallies. We need to start having more rallies. Also, unions. We need to start having way more rallies. There's a lot of problems and ain't nothing went away yet. We need to start having way more rallies than what we have. And when we have these rallies, we need some type of flyer. I ain't gonna say flyer, but we need something that we can let the customers know, some type of information that we can let the customers know. Right? How about union? Y'all can go into your budget and pay for flyers. Pay for flyers. Do it the legal way. Pay for flyers, and then carriers deliver the flyers. You have to deliver like anything else that we get. Pay for the service, pay for the flyers, get the flyers to the stations, let the carriers deliver the flyers. Hey, customers, we need you to come out and support as many of y'all that can on this day because you guys are affected by the lack of customer service. And we can explain a lot more to you at the rallies. With that, I'm gonna get up out of here because I am tired and it is 12:32 a.m. Okay, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe and follow, comment, leave a rating. Any combination of those is legit with me. Now, on your streaming services, whatever you listening to us on your streaming services, please, please, please leave a rating. That's first and foremost. If I can ask for anything, if we can ask for anything, is to leave a rating. That lets the streaming algorithms know that people are enjoying the content. Just leave a rating. Whether it's good or bad, please. We need the feedback anyway. Leave a rating, right? And then comment, right? On this particular show, if you in the Milwaukee district, the Wisconsin district, well, really the Milwaukee district in Wisconsin, Poom M, at any other stations that I mentioned down below, right? Leave a comment. If you outside of this district, leave a comment. Find out what your station rating is and leave it in the comment section below. If you know your station's code name, put your station code name down there along with the rating out of 5 stars that it has online. Let me know in a not necessarily a review, but a comment. Is your station a good station where you work at as an employee, or is your station a good station as from your viewpoint as a customer? All right. Do you experience the same thing? So we can get a larger uh poll of, or both poll and pool, so we can try to see, is this a real nationwide thing? Now, I do have people in different states and they suffer the same issues. My sister Fee is out of Ohio, right? And it's a lot of the same thing. So the only way we gonna correct this is if we correct this, because nobody else is doing it. I can't find no one else doing it. I don't hear no one else doing it. I don't see no one else doing it. So we gonna have to do it. Okay. With that, I appreciate you. Again, if you can please rate us on whatever streaming service you're using. Again, I'm sleepy, so please don't fault me. Please. I appreciate you. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Sharing is caring. If I can ask for anything after the rating, it's to share. There's a lot of us coworkers who don't get the information, who don't have the information, who don't know that the information is either out there or coming out for them. Share it with them. Your customers who don't know, who probably should be in the loop, who the upper management is going to try to keep out the loop. We got to let them know. That's the biggest force. That's the biggest game changer. It's bigger than our numbers. Is our customers. So we have to get our customers in the fight. I appreciate y'all. The numbers are looking very nice. I see that you guys enjoying the content. The streams are up. The YouTube views is up. The shorts are coming. We do have a cartoon behind the scenes. Probably not to 2025 though. We'll start having some shorts about that. Eventually down the road, we are going to do a Postman movie, untitled currently. Right. So we're doing a lot of things over here at Amazing Studios. I appreciate y'all. Shout out Coffee. Shout out Fee. Shout out Watkins. Shout out Kia. Make sure to check out Ask Kia on Instagram. And with that, man, y'all have a good one, man. I hope y'all enjoy this Monday morning. I worked hard for this. I have a migraine, y'all. It ain't funny, but I have high blood pressure. If y'all don't know, I have hypertension, and the post office keeps stressing me out. I'm gonna have to contact EAP for assistance on my stress. Y'all should contact EAP too if you work for the post office and you stress. That's part of your benefits package. If y'all didn't know out there, you contact EAP. Talk to, I believe, counselors slash therapists slash, I don't know if it's psychiatrists, but it's like therapists and counselors. It's a free service. Call EAP. You call them 24 hours a day. It don't even have to be work related. You call them about your home life. They're here to help make sure that you keep a good mind or good mental on your shoulders. I'm gonna have to call EAP. Y'all have a good one. Peace.